Hi guys, welcome back to Otto's Garage. We're going to have a quick look at steering rack this time. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is the steering rack as it's come off the car. It's actually in very good condition as most of the other stuff. But it is obviously a bit of a mess, so what we're going to do is we're going to strip off the track rod ends, put some new gaiters on it, and then basically give her a good clean up and give her a paint off so she's looking a bit more shiny. I'll probably get these hoses replaced as well while we're down there, and the pump needs a bit of tidying up, and I'm probably going to go with a different kind of reservoir on that as well. But we'll get it stripped off and then we can have a look and see what she's like, and then hopefully get it stuck back on the car. I've just wound the track rod end off, and what I'm going to do is just take a quick measurement there. So we've got about 30 mils, something like that. That's just going to help when I put the new track rod end back on again to get it about right for track, but obviously it will get adjusted up when the alignment's all checked on it, but at least I can get it back in approximately the right place. That's it all stripped down, taken all the pipes off. What I'm going to do is all of these pipes, we're going to change these for braided hose, and the same with the little ones which transfer the fluid across the rack. But now I've just got her in a bit of degreaser, so we're cleaning it up, and then we can look at taking off the gaiters. These will need cleaning off, the control arms each side, and then basically we can repaint. The main body of it will be done back in gold again as it was originally, and then the aluminium head will just get redone in silver. It's all masked up now, and I'm going to paint the unmasked bits are going to be done in silver, and then I'll be taking some of the masking off, certainly in this part here, which originally was like an anodized gold, so I'm going to redo that in gold, so she should look fairly factory finished, all being well. There's the first stage silver, so when that's dried I'll take off the bits of masking tape that we don't need, and then we'll paint the gold there. Obviously what I'll then have to do is mask up the silver, so it's a two-stage process really with getting it painted. Okay, so while that steering rack paint is going off, I'm going to have a quick look at the front disc and the bell, the top hat that goes onto the hub as well. So we've got to bolt those together before we can offer them up onto the car. So I'll just get those ready and we'll have a look and see what they're like. Right, here are the items. So we've got the bell here, which goes onto the 4-stud hub, and then you've got the main disc, which has got to be bolted onto the bell. That serves two purposes. It gives, obviously, the manufacturers a bit more flexibility in manufacturing a standard disc, and then just having a variety of different bells depending on the vehicle that they're going onto. But the other thing as well is that when you get a big disc, it does help with heat dissipation, because obviously you've got a steel disc and you've got an alloy bell there, and that reduces the risk of the disc from warping basically. So we've had these from Comp Brake, really nice kit, well fabricated, nice bit of CNC work on it. Very pleased that all that goes together. They give you a bit of a diagram how it works. I have got one little issue in that the mounting bracket you can see here on the card, the hole centres where it mounts onto the Lancia upright are incorrect, so they're just looking into that at the moment for us to try and get another mounting bracket made. But that's not going to stop me getting the disc assembled, and then when the steering rack's on, obviously that means that we can get the wheels put onto it. The other thing that we've got here are the actual bolts for fixing the bell and the disc together, and they've got a kind of like it's a bit like a nylock locking nut on the end of it, but obviously if that was nylon it would just melt in the heat and the disc would fall off. So this has got a an engineered metal locking nut, so when you tighten that up down the thread, basically the nut grips and it can't come undone once you've torqued it up to the specified torque. Right, so we had another Chinese at the weekend, so that's given us a bit of extra storage space. All I've done there is I've just put all the nuts in one and the bolts in the other. These are actually, they're not metric. These have got a 7/16 Allen in the end of them, which gives a nice tight fit. But we have got a 12mm nut that goes on the end of that. And you can see there that kind of locking mechanism as it tightens down. So basically we've got the bell, we're going to get that offered up into place on there, and then we can just drop a bolt with a washer on it, and that goes in the corresponding holes right the way around the outside. And then what I'll do is I'll get a couple of those in, and then we can basically spin her over, get a nut on the back side of it, I'll tighten it up, and then at the end we'll go around and settle the torque correctly. Right, that looks fast immediately. Even though it's standing still, it couldn't look faster. So we've got the knots on the inside there. So what I'm going to do now is just whiz round and just set those to the correct torque, and then we can get her offered up and see what she looks like on the car. It's been a bit of a tricky one today. I've mounted up the disc as we had there and tightened up all of the bolts on it and everything, blah blah blah, which has resulted in that, and it looks great, don't get me wrong, that's fine. However, I've got an issue, because when I mounted that disc on the car, I was getting a fouling point here. So basically, when the wheel was turned in, the disc basically would foul the front of the wishbone in here, which is completely unacceptable, obviously. What I've actually done now is I've mounted the disc on there, but I've flicked it around. So rather than the bell being on the surface as it is here, this disc here is flicked over the other way, so it's offset it, and it's pushed the disc away from the wishbone at that point there. So I have got good clearance there where it's turning. There's not an issue with that now. That's all good. However, that's just something I've tried. I've obviously got to speak to the disc suppliers down at Compbreak there and just see whether that's an acceptable fitment with regard to the safety of the disc, basically. I have got one other issue as well, which I'm just going to show you too, so just bear with. So we've got the wheel mounted. Obviously we've got the tyre on there as well now. We've got good rotation and good clearance on the body round that way. There is a slight issue just here at the back of the arch. Obviously I'm not sure at the moment what the steering rack is going to do on that. But even worse than that, if you look on the back side there, we've got some obvious binding on the back of the shock absorber. So I'm going to have a quick look. I did think that I was going to have to put a spacer on the wheel anyway, just to kind of push her out a little bit more. I haven't got an issue inside with regard to clearance for the caliper. They're actually, the kit's designed for a 16-inch wheel. We've obviously got 17s on there, so there's not an issue for clearance inside on that. I've just got to kind of speak to them about the brake offset, and it will clearly need, if we look at the caliper, a different mounting bracket as well on it, because at the moment the mounting bracket is assuming that the disc is going to be as per that one there. However, that obviously won't fit now that we've moved the disc out. So there's a bit of brake issue there that we've got to sort out. So I'm going to give them a call and just see what we might be able to come up with. But apart from that, the wheels themselves are looking pretty cool on there, and I'm quite happy with the way the fitment's going to go. At the rear, I've mounted that one up, so that's looking quite good as well. And the modification that we did inside at the back of that arch, you can see that nicely there, has meant that we've got good clearance. Obviously it's on full droop at the moment, but there are no issues with any binding at the back of the wheel. That's all good, so I'm quite happy with that. And we've got good clearance around the actual arch itself. Obviously the back wheel shouldn't really be moving in and out, but you don't get the same issues with obviously turning there. But on the front we've got to sort that clearance, but I'm confident we can do something with that anyway, so we'll just have to see how it goes. The other thing I wanted to do was just have a look at it with the arch on as well, so that gives us some idea of what the car's actually going to look like when we get those wheels on there as it goes forward. Just move that camera around a bit. So that's pretty cool. We can see there we've got our front wheel, obviously, and now that's going to go into that arch and then coming down to the back as well. And there she is underneath. But that's really starting to take shape now, so that's good. I liking the look of that. I've just still got a bit of work to do. I'm waiting for some spacers to arrive on the suspension at the back there, but at least when that comes in we should be able to get that finally fitted. You wouldn't think there'd be so many issues with just trying to put the wheels on, but when you're messing around with something which as standard has obviously been designed to the nth degree, and then you just try and chop her around a little bit, you do get all sorts of knock-on ramifications with the modifications that you're doing. But anyway, we are starting to get there. I've got some solutions to a couple of the issues, but I'm just waiting for some people to get back to me. But I think that if I can get around those issues, then I think we are going to get those wheels back on. Hopefully while I'm waiting for those, I'll get that steering rack on anyway, and that at least will determine exactly how much turn I've got on the front there and whether I've got any foul clearance issues on the front when she's turning. But yeah, she's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with how it is progressing. I'm going to say thanks for watching Otto's Garage. I hope to catch up with you all soon. Stay safe. Keep subscribing. It looks really good, the number of the interest that we're getting there. And thanks for all the great comments again. See you soon, guys.